Welcome to today's lesson. So today is continuation of the same crop husbandry practices, but to be specific, we're going to look at classification of pesticides. So this is Agriculture Form 2, and you are with me, your presenter, your teacher, Andrew Cobby. So let's look at classification of pesticides. So normally, there are different types of pesticides, and these pesticides that can be classified according to the following aspects. So the first aspect is mode of entry. Then we have got types of target pests. So we're going to look at each and every aspect in detail. So let's start by looking at mode of entry. So on mode of entry, the foreign classes can be identified on this basis. So on mode of entry, we've got 1, stomach poisons. So these pesticides, they enter the pest through the mouth during feeding and poison the pest. It means they enter through the mouth and they go into the stomach and they poison the pest. That's why they are known as stomach poisons. Then we have got contact poisons. So these contact poisons, they kill the pest when it comes into contact with the chemicals. They get absorbed through the skin. So what normally happens is if you apply the pesticides, so when the pest they get into contact with the pesticides, so they will die because the skin will absorb these pesticides and the pest will die. So that's about mode of entry. So these contact poisons, they enter the pest through the skin. Then we've got fumigants. So on top of fumigants, this kind of pests, they enter the pest respiratory system in form of fumes or gas, thereby suffocating the pest to death. So it's just a gas which enters into the pest through respiratory system, and what follows is suffocation and the pest will die. So this kind of pesticides are known as fumigants. Then we've got systemic. So these these are chemicals, and they may be applied into the soil or directly on the plant. Okay, so they are applied in the soil or on the plant. They get absorbed in the plant tissue where the chemical is translocated to other plant parts such as stem, leaves, and flowers. When pests feed on such plants, they get killed. So, in other ways, these chemicals they go into the system of the plant, and when the when the pest they feed on these plants, it means the pest will die because the plant now is contaminated with the pesticides. Then let's go to types of target pests. Types of target pests. So on this basis, we have the following classes of pesticides. So on type of target pest, we have got the following classes of pesticides. So the first one is insecticides. So when we talk of insecticides, they include these chemicals, which are the first one is diazinon. We've got dimethoate. We've got fension. Then we've got fentothion. These kind of insecticides, they kill insects, as the name can easily tell that insecticides, they kill insects. So those are some of the examples of insecticides. Then we've got rodenticides. So the name can easily tell that rodenticides, they kill rodents. So these kill rodents such as rats, mice, talk of squirrels. Examples we've got Nomui and red cat. So these are examples of rodenticides. Then we've got nematodes. So these nematodes, they kill nematodes. Examples we've got Nemaka, then we've got Nemagon and Tamek. These pesticides, they kill uh, um, nematodes. Then let's look at factors that affect the efficiency of applying pesticide. Factors that affect efficiency of applying pesticides. So you have to take note that efficiency of pesticides refers to its ability to kill the intended pest upon application. So after applying, you look at the ability of that pesticide to kill the intended pest. So effectiveness of pesticides in controlling pests is influenced by the following factors. So the first one, talk of concentration of the pesticides. So concentration will affect the efficiency of pesticides to kill the pest. So a pesticide has a higher efficiency, when applied in its correct concentration. So when you buy the pesticides, you see it is written on how you can apply that pesticide and the concentration is there. So when you apply in its correct concentration, it means the ability to kill the pest will be high. But if you miss the concentration, you apply whereby the concentration is not correct, it means the probability or the ability to kill the pest will be low. Then we've got weather conditions at the time of application will also affect the ability of the pesticides to kill the pest. So rainwater washes away the pesticides. Therefore, avoid applying chemicals on rainy days. So when it is raining and you apply the pesticides, it means that rainwater will wash away the pesticides. So we have to avoid applying the pesticides when it is raining. Then we've got timing of application. So the efficiency of the chemicals is high when applied at a time when the pest is most susceptible, such as at the larva or at the nympha stage, rather than at the adult stage when some pests may become resistant to pesticides. So we find that there are some stages of the pest whereby they will be able to resist to pesticides. So if you apply pesticides at such time, it means they will not be able to kill the pest. So you have to apply at the right stage of the pest so that the pest should be killed by these pesticides. Then we've got persistence of the pesticides. So those pesticides which have long residual effect are more effective in killing pests. So there are other pesticides that have got long residual effect, or they work for a long period of time. After applying, they work for a long period of time. That's long residual effect. So they are more effective in killing the pest than the pesticides which work for a short period of time, or they have got short residual effect. So this is because such pesticides retain their strength for long before breaking down into constituent compounds which are harmless. Then we've got pest resistant. So on top of pest resistance, some pests have developed resistance to certain pesticides, and this reduces their efficiency. So you find that some pests they have developed resistant, or they are able to resist some pesticides. Therefore, these pests they cannot easily die when you apply pesticides. So this one also affect the efficiency of pesticides. So let's now go to advantages of chemical pest control. So chemical pest control, it is relatively fast method of pest control. So it is very fast as compared to other ways of controlling pests. Then it has low labor requirements. So when you compare with other methods of controlling pests, this one has got low labor requirements. Then let's go to disadvantages. So chemicals are very expensive to purchase. So to buy the chemicals, you need a lot of money. So they are expensive. Then chemicals have long residual effect and may cause environmental pollution. So some chemicals, they have got long residual effect, or they work for a long period of time. Therefore, they can affect or they can cause environmental pollution. Then talk of use of chemicals requires skills, especially in mixing and application. So to mix the chemicals, to come up with the correct concentration, they require skills. So it cannot be done by everyone. You need skilled people to do this job. So due to broad spectrum effect, some pesticides can destroy beneficial organisms and predators. Predator insects such as red-billed, talk of beetles, talk of butterflies, talk of bees and birds. So some pests, they can destroy some beneficial um, um, organisms, talk of cell organisms, which are they facilitate the decomposition process. They can be destroyed by these pesticides. We talk of some of the insects such as ladybirds, talk of beetles. They can be destroyed by these pesticides. So those are some of the disadvantages. Then talk of some target pests may build up resistance. So some pests may resist. Okay, if you apply the pesticides for a long period of time, you find that some pests, they resist, and they make these chemicals to be ineffective. So those are some of the disadvantages of using pesticides or chemicals. Then let's go to legislative pest control measures. So when talk of legislative pest control measures, this involves um, applying laws by the parliament that prohibit entry of crop pests from other countries. So there are laws which are developed by the parliament which prevent or prohibit the entry of new pests from other countries. So all crop produce imported into our country, into Malawi, must be inspected and certified as free from pests before it can be released for use. So all the crops which are entering into our country, they have to be checked, they have to be inspected so that they are not containing pests which can affect our crops into our country. So that's legislative pest control measure. Then let's go to integrated pest management, that's IPM. So when we talk of integrated pest management, this is a new strategy of pest control which combines various pest control methods. So all those different pest control measures, they are combined. So they are applied together. So that one is known as integrated pest management. So talk of biological, cultural, physical, in the use of pesticides, all these are done at the same time. So that one is known as integrated pest management, IPM. So let's go to crop harvesting procedures. So crops should be harvested on time. So normally you have to harvest crops on time. Why? To avoid crop losses through destruction by rain, we talk of bees and rodents. So make sure that you harvest the crops on time. So for cereal crops, proper drying before harvesting is essential so as to avoid later spoilage of the produce due to rotting or mold attack. So before drying, before harvesting, make sure that the cereals are properly dried to avoid spoilage due to rotting or mold attack. So immature harvesting leads to cracked grains. Then harvesting at the wrong stage may also lower the quality of produce or even um, may lead to the produce unusable. Okay, may end up leading to the product may not be usable. So that's why you are advised to harvest the crops on time. So let's now go to stage and timing of harvesting. So the number of factors which determine the stage as well as time of harvesting of a given crop. So these factors are intended use of the crop. So intended use or the purpose of that crop, what are you going to use that crop for, will affect the stage and the time of harvesting. You talk of prevailing weather conditions also affect the time of harvesting. Talk of market demand, talk of pest and disease outbreak. So let's look at these details. So the first one, we're talking of intended use of the crop. So the stage of harvesting is determined in most cases by the use which the crop is put or in what form it is needed. So for example, maize for silage is harvested wholly when it is at silking stage. So that's made for silage, for making uh, animal feeds. It has to be harvested at silking stage. While green maize is harvested when the cobs are not yet dry. That's green maize. So when the cobs are not yet dry, that's the stage where you can harvest green maize. Then talk of maize for sharing is harvested when it is dried properly. So if you have planted maize and the purpose for planting that maize is for sharing, it means you have to harvest when it is fully dry. So let's go to prevailing weather conditions. So loss of produce can occur when the crop is harvested late, such as in pace, in passes, which shatter and throw their seeds when completely dry. So these seeds start sprouting when rains set in crops such as cotton must be harvested during dry periods before onset of rains. So I mean onset of rains. So it just depend on the weather conditions. So weather also affect the time and also the stage of harvesting. So let's go to market demand. So market demand also affect the time as well as the stage of harvesting. So a crop can be harvested earlier when the market demand is high. Okay, so if you have got high demand of such crop at the market, it means the crop can be harvested earlier so that the farmer should make a lot of profit or should utilize the high market prices. So let's go to pest and disease outbreak. So pest and disease outbreaks also affect the stage of harvesting. So pest and disease attack can influence the stage of harvesting crops. So such as when talk of weevils or rodents attack on maize can be prevented by early harvesting. Okay, so you can harvest early to prevent the attack by weevils, talk of and also rodents on maize. Then let's go to harvesting of groundnuts. So when talk of harvesting groundnuts, there are various or there are different ways of harvesting groundnuts. So they include lifting, you talk of drying, you talk of shading. Okay. So let's look at these um, stages of harvesting groundnuts. So the first one is lifting. So on top of lifting, uh, groundnuts should be lifted when most of them are mature. So on top of lifting, so you lift groundnuts when most of them are mature. So lifting just pulling the groundnuts. Okay, so you hold the stem and you pull the groundnuts. So that one is known as lifting. So maturity is indicated by darkening of the veins of the inner surface of the shell and yellowing of the most of the leaves. So find that most of the leaves they turn yellow. So just know that the groundnuts are mature. So delay in harvesting may lead to crop losses through germination of some nuts. So if you delay in harvesting, you find that some of the nuts will start germinating. So that is crop loss. So harvesting is done by hand pulling in sand soils or use of hand hoes in heavy soils. So if the soil is heavy, you can use hoe. But if you talk of sand soil, you can just pull or you can just lift. So talk of mechanical harvesters may also be used to lift the seeds. So uh, that's a picture showing groundnuts in this harvesting method is known as pulling or lifting. So a farmer just lifted the groundnuts from the soil. So that's a picture for you to appreciate how lifting is done. So you just hold the stems and you pull from the soil. So let's go to drying. So after lifting the plant, okay, after lifting the plants, you turn them upside down and leave them to dry in the field for a few days. Then the nuts are then removed by hands. So the nuts are removed from the stems, the roots by hand after being turned upside down to facilitate proper drying. Then let's go to shelling. So there is hand shelling or hand operated machines can be used in shelling. So you can use hands or you can use machines when shelling. So let's go to harvesting maize. So maize is ready for harvest in 3 to 5 months depending on uh, uh, cavita and altitudes. Altitudes. So maize is harvested when the ribs and huskers are dry. So you harvest maize when the ribs as well as huskers are dry. That's when you know that this is the time to harvest maize. So the maize crop may be cut and stocked in the field to allow crops to dry. So the crops then removed by hand and stored. So the maize can also be harvested by the use of combined harvester in large scale. That is in large scale. So the maize cobs are later shelled. So that's how maize is harvested. So you can see the farmer there is harvesting maize. So this one is a small scale farmer and is using maize. He's using his own hands to harvest the maize. So I've got this practical activity for you. So on the school farm, if you have got a farm on your school, you have to be involved in harvesting maize or groundnuts using appropriate methods. So that's activity for you. So there is also revision exercise. So this is the revision exercise for you. You have to try it, answer the questions, and you compare your answers with the answers which are going to be provided. So the first question is name field pest of maize. name field pests of maize. That's the first question. Then state 2 advantages of biological methods of pest control. So what are some of the advantages if you are using biological pest control methods? So just state 2. Then give 2 signs that may show a groundnut crop is ready for harvest. How can you know that this groundnuts is ready for harvesting? Then the last one is you have to outline 4 cultural practices of pest control. Outline 4 cultural practices of pest control. So that's all I had in this presentation. Thank you for being there. If you have got any question, that's our WhatsApp number and that's our email. Thank you so much. See you in my next video.